My name is Yankuba Colley.
Where do you live, Mr. Colley?
Sorry?
Where do you live?
I live at Talinding.
What work are you doing at the moment?
I was mayor up till today when the council is dissolved.
Up till when?
Today.
Until today. Excluding today or including today?
No, today the council is dissolved. Effective
when
today.
Was it dissolved?
Effective today.
How long have you been mayor? Cardiff Municipal Council?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Starting from?
I made my first term, then went back to elections, and finally the second term ended. The second term ended.
The second term ended?
Yeah.
The term is what, 4 years?
The term is stipulated in the Act is 4 years, but it extends to 5 years before every elections.
All right. Would you like to sit down, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Colley, you were, sorry, let me just go back a little bit. Before you were mayor, what work did you do?
I was a councillor.
For how long?
I worked first as a police officer, then later worked at various institutions. Now went to politics and become councillor. And acted.
How long were you councillor?
We started in 2002, and by my third year, I acted as mayor. Then after the dissolution, I went back to look for the mayoral seat.
After this, sorry?
After the dissolution, you know, the council dissolves normally 3 months before elections. 90 days before elections.
So you were councillor from 2002 to 2005, you said?
Something like that, yes.
And then you became mayor from?
I cannot recall the dates right now.
You can't recall?
Yeah.
But you said 10 years?
10 years.
That should be approximately 2010?
Yeah, it should be around 2010. I cannot recall right
2008.
now. 2008. But I know I have served 2 terms.
2007, 2008, yeah. All right. Thank you. You were summoned here in connection to payments you received from the mobilization account with respect to some state visits, we understand, from evidence that was led to this commission. I will show you copies of checks from Exhibit. The checks are from Exhibit BB71, Mr. Chairman. There's a check for $602,000 paid to you on the 10th of April 2012 from the mobilization account at GT Bank. There's also a check of $230,000 paid to you on the 12th April 2013 from the same account. A check for $150,000 paid to you on the 12th November 2013 from the same account, and a check of $5,000 paid on the 12th November 2013. I'm just going to show you copies. Could you look at those checks, please? Are these checks that were paid to you?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, from the testimony from Fatou Lamin Faye, who was responsible for three of the 385,000, which is the total of three of the checks, has indicated that the monies you received have not been retired, and she was unable to account for them.
I do retired.
Who did you retire it to?
To Fatuma's Job, the former minister, Fatuma's Job.
Fatuma's Job was responsible for the 602,000.
Yes.
But Fatu Lamin Fai was responsible for the 385,000.
Actually, I know all are retired. Because if you don't retire, you cannot get any other impress. Of that I know.
Sorry?
And,
Sorry? I didn't hear what you just said. If you don't retire?
I say if you don't retire, you don't get any other impress in any occasion.
Any other impress from where?
If you have an occasion, if you don't retire...
Actually, Mr. Colley, the entire sums that were given were not retired in the government records, and that's why persons to whom these monies were paid have been called, including Fatu Lamin Fai herself. She's just been retiring these sums now. So,
but I think I retired. For me...
do you have the documents?
Right now...
Mr. Colley, do you have the documents that you retired?
I don't have it right now because all my documents were on fire when the bureau was attacked, and there was an arson attack at the
Did you give the investigators documents?
I do.
You did give in the investigators documents?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I will show you documents that the investigators have submitted, and I'd like you to confirm whether these are documents you gave the investigators.
Thank you.
This one is a receipt and some documents with regard to the 602,000, and these are some tables, two tables that you gave. Could you kindly confirm whether these are documents you gave the investigators?
As these are documents, I retired to the investigators.
What are these documents?
This is retirement that I did to Fatuma's.
These are copies of what you gave Fatuma's,
yes, exactly.
They are copies.
Yes, and in fact, it was very difficult for me to have it because the file that I normally use, involved in the fire incident that happens at the bureau.
Involved, sorry?
At the arson attack at the bureau, at our political bureau, some time ago. And then even this document, I have to go and ask whether I'll be able to have it from Fatuma's. That's where I got it from, because I cannot produce any document of my own when I was, in fact, the first time the investigator, talked to me about this, I said I cannot remember, because each check must have a narrative. And I don't receive any narrative because right now I cannot remember. It's a long time.
So you're saying you had documents, but they were burnt in an arson attack?
They were burnt, yes.
Where was this arson attack?
At the APRC political bureau.
When?
Not before elections.
Very well. I'd like you to confirm, you have two sets of documents, one for 602,000, the other for, I think, 385, is that it? And this is what constitutes your retirement of the amounts you were given.
Exactly. You know how normally how it happens is, as the principal who receives it, I equally distribute it to the actors on the ground. That's what I do. Each section, like if you looked at the 230, was handled by Alhaji Mustafa Sen. He was the one who was handling that part. And the others also, it was for the youths on the welcoming. So the youth mobilizer who unfortunately traveled, he's not around, then was given, so they retired to me, then I retired to the honorable ministers. That's how it happens.
What's the name of the youth mobilizer for the record?
Babu Gay Sonko.
Babu Gay Sonko. All right, let's have the documents. I'll apply to have them admitted. Then we'll ask you questions on those documents.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted documents submitted by this witness as constituting the retirement of two sums of money, $602,000 and $385,000 received by the witness from the mobilization account BB 71. Yeah. You can put this back.
documents submitted by Mayor Yankuba Colley, to wit, 1, payment to 15 troops, the RUOPS, they are dancing troops, I think that's what they call them. 15 troops for welcoming and farewell ceremonies for President Jonathan of Nigeria in November 2013. 2, payment to 23 troops for welcoming and farewell for President Jonathan. That is November 2013. 3, receipt by Yankuba Colley of payment of $602,000 to chairman of the mobilization committee relating to the visit of the Taiwanese president from 11th to 14th April 2012, admitted in a bundle marked MS 144.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr.
We haven't got this for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
The payments you received, the 602,000, was in respect of the visit of President Ma, the president of China on Taiwan, which was in 2012. And the second amount of 385,000 was in respect of President Jonathan in 2013. And for the visit of President Jonathan, Fatu Lamin Fai was responsible. Is there any reason why you did not retire to her? Why the sum of 385,000?
I believe it has been retired. The only thing, the unfortunate thing is that I'm not having my file. That's the reason. But
so we are talking about 2013, and this was just a 2-day visit.
Yes, exactly. But the thing, if you can see the 300, because even the write-up, people that were paid, their telephone numbers are recorded, and
my question is, why did you not retire to her?
I believe I retired.
To Fatu Lamin Fai?
Yes.
Mrs. Fai said here yesterday that you did not retire to her.
Especially because the document, and for one thing I know, the one that was responsible retired to me. The one who was responsible for, I received the bulk as the chairman of the mobilization of the president that was coming. And in it, I have some other committees I
understand that. We just want to understand, up to yesterday, you did not retire. If you have an explanation for it, we would like to hear it. If you don't, then that's fine, we move on.
No explanation, ma'am.
You have no explanation?
I cannot, because yes, I'm not privy to any document right now to say that.
The payment was supposed to be to the KMC mobilization team. What is your connection to the KMC mobilization team?
KMC mobilization team, a group of women.
Sorry?
A group of women, politicians.
Yes, but are you?
My
do you have a role? Do you have a role on the team, or what is your role on the team?
No,
why was the money paid to you?
It is a CBO.
Sorry, I didn't get your answer.
I say it is a CBO.
It
is a community-based organization.
Yes, I would just like to understand why the money was being paid to you, Mayor KMC, for the KMC mobilization team.
It was not paid to me for the KMC mobilization team. If you looked at it, it is not paid to me.
Why was it being paid to you then?
I'm not the head.
Why were you being paid? Why were you?
I am not the head of that organization.
Yes, why was the money paid to you? I want to understand.
That's what I'm saying. I said there was a national committee formed, and I was made the chairman of the mobilization for the president that was coming.
The chairman of, sorry?
The mobilization committee.
So you were the chairman of the mobilization committee?
Yes, ma'am.
Not the vice president?
No, the vice president was the chair of the committee. You know, we have the committee, you have finance committee, like where Fatu Lamin Fai and others are. You have a mobilization. There are so many committees that are in the same committee, in the same central committee, headed by...
So you had a central committee, and then you had subcommittees.
There are central committees, and you have subcommittees.
And you were responsible for mobilization?
For mobilization.
Not only for KMC?
No, not only for KMC.
Right. Now, the other question I have is, there are no receipts attached to these documents you have submitted. No receipts at all. You have just provided a list of payments. Let's take could you give the witness the exhibit, please? The 602,000, you just have a statement indicating a summary statement indicating how you said the money were paid, was utilized.
Exactly.
But there is not a single receipt.
Yeah, this is what I said. I said I have my own file that involves in the fire incident that happens at the bureau. When the bureau was born, that's where my own documents, I lost everything.
Yes, I heard you, but we are talking about 2016. This money was paid to you in 2012.
That's what I'm saying. I said the file is kept at the bureau.
Maybe we are not understanding each other, Mr. Mayor. What I'm saying, or Honorable Mayor, what I'm saying is that you are supposed to retire this sum in 2012 immediately after the visit.
Yes.
Are you saying when you retired it, you never submitted any receipts?
I said I do. I retired. I said
yes. Did you submit any receipts to Fatu Masjo?
Yes, of course.
You gave a receipt.
This is why. That's the reason. This is how we are asked to retire. They made a specimen for retirement, and that's how we retired to. And this is the exact way we retire to her. This is how we retire to her.
With or without receipts? Did you give her receipts?
I have my original receipts. It's possible because if I don't give her anything about this incident, she would not have accepted the retirement. That must be with her.
You are saying you gave Fatuma's Job the receipts?
I cannot recall.
For the 602,000?
I cannot recall. Right now I cannot recall. But what I can say is if I did not give her the necessary documents, she will not accept this retirement.
You see, the difficulty we have is that Fatuma's Job is not here. You are the one who's saying you you retired to her. Now, when did you retire to her, by the way?
It happens normally 2 weeks or a week after the program.
So you went to retrieve these copies?
Yeah,
why did you not retrieve the receipts as well?
Yeah, because
the receipts from her?
I cannot remember or recall whether I give her receipts or not. I cannot, honestly.
Honorable Mayor, it would be in your best interest to provide receipts for these payments that you have submitted to the Commission. As you know, you've been a public officer of many years standing. I'm sure even in your own organization you will not accept the retirement of sums of money without any supporting documents, and that's precisely what you have done now, at least in this commission. You are giving us documents without any supporting, without any support in the forms of receipts. Do you understand?
I do, ma. I'm equally saying, ma, that the only way I can remember is if I was able to get hold on to my file, of which right now is very impossible.
Honorable Mayor, I think we are talking about two different issues here.
You
said, let me just explain. You said you have receipts in your file which you had, there was an arson attack in 2016.
Exactly.
You are also saying that you did retire these sums with supporting documents to Fatuma's Job prior to the arson attack, that is 2 weeks after the event. If you did, then the receipts must exist with Fatuma's Job. So it would be in your best interest to provide receipts that support these documents.
What I'll do then, I will try to, consult Fatuma's whether she's having any of those receipts. It's the only thing that I can do.
I do not have any further questions for the Mayor.
Thank you.
If you do have